Hey guys, I wanted to make a tutorial about making a patch using chords. So here's my template, my default template when I do File New. Um, this is what you see, and then I'll save this in my Patreon. So you can use the same template if you want to start off just like this, or you can copy the modules and kind of follow along that way. Sometimes I make patches with the full mixer and everything at the top, EQ, everything. And then sometimes I just make patches that are smaller and just use VCAs to mix things and then just send everything to the output, stacking the cables up. But today I'm going to use the mixer. I find it easier when I'm doing bigger patches to use a mixer. So first of all, I'm going to start off using ABCD sec, and then what I like to do is I always have these clock dividers in my template. This one is set to triplets and sixteenths, yeah, and this one is set to manufacturer, which is 1 through 8. That way I can grab any division I want and divide out chords or drums or anything I want to have a signal, a clock division of the, or a clock division, I should say. So first I'm going to connect this to the 4th. I could also use this one, it doesn't matter, but it's the same division. Then I'm also going to connect the reset just in case we need to reset for another sequencer or anything. And then I'm going to load FM up. It's the quickest and easiest thing to use. You can always layer it or FM things. I just like to use FM up because it's quick and easy, and I can always expand on it later on down the road, when I'm expanding the patch. So I added the patch. I connected the poly CV, which is each column is a chord in the sequencer. Lately I've been using it this way. You can use it in the normal way where you just play one note at a time and that kind of thing. But I've been using the poly CV, which is each column is a chord, 4-note chord. And then I connected the gate here, gate out into the FM up gate. And then I'm going to connect the spreader module because it spreads the chord out across the stereo field. I just like the sound of that, so that all your notes aren't in the same in the left and the right, so they're different. So once we do this, and I always randomize the chords by hitting CV here, and then if I don't like one, I can hit the button on the column to randomize it. So if I don't like that last one, or if I don't like this one, I just tap this button and I randomize it, and let's see what it comes back around, what it sounds like. Okay, so this last one I want to change. So I do this for a little while until I get like a sequence I like. Then I also change the scale, maybe lower the octave so it sounds a little bit deeper. Maybe extend the range so it goes across more of the keyboard. Maybe go back to that. Okay, so now let's stop messing with the chords. One thing I always, when I'm using my big patches, I usually have reverb on the first, on the A, auxiliary send, and a delay on B, so that's plateau and chronoblob. I like to use Sangster, but it's a paid module, so I don't usually use it when I want to share the patch with somebody. So I'm trying to make more patches that more people can use, even though I like to use a lot of paid modules. Not everybody has them. So what you can do here next is let's add a kick. And I'm going to use the 4MS ones because I know everybody doesn't have the paid knock module that I like to use a lot. So I'm using the 4MS kick. I just extend the decay out, lower the pitch down a little bit, increase the saturation. Let's trigger every quarter note here. And then my template patch already does sidechain effect. Well, it's a sidechain effect, but it's ducking on these sends here based on the quarter note trigger right here. An inverted envelope is sent to the VCAs, so that if I turn the kick down, you can hear it's ducking the reverb, and you can hear where the kick would be. So if I increase this back up, the kick fits right into that slot wherever it's ducking out. I just like the sound of that, so you don't have big muddy mixes and reverb all the time everywhere. And plateau is really big and bold, so it takes a lot of the spectrum. So I like to duck it out. Next, I might add a hi-hat. So let's add the 4MS closed and open hi-hats. So the closed one, let's do it every 16th note, which is this here. The times 4 is a 16th note. Because in VCV, this one is always a quarter note, and times 4 is 16. So closed note, or closed hat. And then let's turn the brightness down so it's not so in your face. Let's turn it down a little bit in the volume. And then let's add an open hi-hat. This is always set to be delayed by an 8th note, so halfway through a quarter note. And then that way I can always trigger my open hi-hat easily without using a sequencer. I'm just using clock dividers and divisions of the clocked module to make my drum beats. But I also sometimes use my trigged module to make drum beats, which then you don't need a lot of the clock divisions. So here we have a basic drum beat, and then I'm going to add a clap, and then on the division by 2 right here. And then one thing I like to do is use my patterns module, because this is kind of boring right now, this beat. So I bring in the patterns module, connect the clock to the 16th notes, reset, and then I just hit random here. I don't usually plan these out, I just hit random. And then let's add a tom. Let's add the 4MS tom. And then trigger it from the XOR. XOR gives you the best patterns, most interesting patterns. So I always take the XOR output to the trigger of whatever you're trying to do. And then let's connect this tom and see what it sounds like. Let's reset, go back to so it's lined up. The 1 is very frequent. The 1 for the 16th though is, so I took it out, so now it only triggers down here on the 8th and 12th, 14th, 16th. So it just adds a little bit more rhythm to the pattern. Makes it so it's a little bit less boring. Then you can even do this again. Let's duplicate that pattern, connect this to the 16th, reset, hit random again. Let's use the rim from 4MS, take the XOR to the trigger, connect that to the mixer, and then let's hit reset again. Now let's take some of these. I'm just messing with the pattern to make it, just change the pattern input and grab it, and then grab another FM up and send that pitch to this, and then the gate goes to the XOR, and then we can connect that, and then let's lower the ratio down to 0.5. Let's try 0.25, see if that's too low. Yeah, that's too low. 0.5. And then let's reset again and make sure all our patterns are doing the right thing at the right time. Let's do that. You're going to need speakers or good headphones. To hear this, not a cell phone speaker. You won't be able to hear that bass. One thing I like to do is take a copy of the clap or the snare or cymbal and then trigger it on every 16th. So I'm taking this division here, which is the 16th note, or 16th division. And then this is number 10, channel 10. So channel 10, let's do a full reverb. It does that. So that's what we'll do there, and then we can lower the volume down a little bit so it's not so big. Oh, whoops, I lowered the wrong one. This one I wanted to lower. What's this one? Bass. This is that clicky sound. Let's lower that one down. This is the rim. I'll lower that one down. These are just not that important sounds, so I lower them down a little bit. And then let's take the FM up here. It sounds a little bit boring, so let's make it, give it an actual FM, or FM, the original one. So we copy over the volt per octave, copy over the gate, pack this output to the FM, turn the depth up, and then turn this ratio to 2. Even number, well, not even numbers, but whole numbers will sound better for these ratios. And then the depth, I usually don't increase it a lot because it'll sound too, well, unless you're trying to do something abrasive. But I usually keep it down low here. Let's turn this feedback up to like 25 before it starts screeching. And then what we can do is connect the feedback down here. Okay, so first I explained I have an LFO and I have a slew limiter after it. I connect the saw output to the slew. That way it smooths out the transition when it goes down. Otherwise it sounds too abrupt. So I always connect the LFO to the slew limiter, and I use the output of the LFO and the slew to connect to various destinations, like the depth of the feedback and or the depth of the FM and then the feedback levels, and then that way it'll build up over time, and it'll change over time, and it won't sound as boring. And then also this hi-hat is kind of bugging me, so I'm going to add a sample and hold, and then turn the range to 0 to 1. Copy that cable right there, and then connect it to the pitch. And now the pitch is changing on the hi-hat. It was bugging me that it was so repetitive. So that I use sample and hold. It's my most, if you look at my most used modules, sample and hold is my most used module. FM up, one pattern, then the blank, and then the spreader, slew, LFO, ABCD, seg, and then the rest of them. But sample and hold is my most used module because anything that does, I don't want lows in. So this main chord, I don't want lows here. I like a little bit of a low signal in there, but not to where it clashes with the bass and the kick. So there's the kick. I usually kind of leave the kick alone. For hats, I always take out the lows of the hats. There's no need for low end in these open and closed hi-hats. Then the clap, I'll take the lows out of the clap. Then the tom, I think it is, I'll take the very lows around down here, so I'm not taking out that peak. I want to leave that peak in there. This is the rim shot where I definitely don't want the lows of that. And this is a random noise hat thing where I don't want all these lows. We don't need that at all. And then this is the bass where we do want the lows. And then this big clap, I don't want the lows either. That's on channel 10. And then you also have the returns over here, aux 1. Take out all those lows, aux 2. Take out all those lows. You don't want a reverb and delay muddying up everything. Let's see if we can do this. At the end of that signal